Welcome to Outlaw Edge Blade Works. How you guys doing tonight? YouTube is, I've talked about this before, YouTube is somewhere where you can teach your skills, like bushcrafting and survival and whatever. But I also think that it's really important for us to take those skills and pass them on to young kids and get them out in the woods and show them different things. But you don't have to do that, out in the woods. There's other things they can learn sitting at home instead of messing with their phone, texting and messing around and playing video games and whatever. But I was thinking about children's books, and I was looking at my library, and I have a whole bunch of them. And these are 5-star children's books. These are the ones that I'd highly recommend if you have children and you want to get them some books to read that would teach them skills out in the woods or put them in a survival scenario, something like adventure. Some of these stories are pretty exciting, and they keep you reading them. I've read every one of these books tons of times, and I love them. And one of them is Island of Blue Dolphins, Scott Odell. Really good story. My daughter years ago told me, "Dad, you got to try this book." And I was like, "Nah, I don't want to. It kind of sounds sci-fi or some crap, But now I've read it 3 or 4 times, and I love it. Really good story. Good children's book. My Side of the Mountain, Gene Craighead George. You can see this book is really old because I've not only read it 1,000 times, it's one of my favorites as far as children's stories. Really good book. Highly recommended for children to read, or something you can sit down and read with them. But I like that one. That's a fun book there. And Gary Paulsen, I cannot say enough about him. He does the Hatchet series books, and I'm going to talk about Hatchet, that story and all that later on. Not today, but I'm gonna be doing some short series on books, not only children's books, but survival, bushcraft, trees, wild edibles, and all that. And I'm gonna kind of bounce them in my YouTube channel every once in a while, so that they're not all piled up in a bunch of the same videos and whatever. But enough rambling on. But anyways, can't say enough about Gary Paulsen. He is one of my favorite authors. This guy does some amazing books, and one of the reasons he does the amazing books is he goes out and does a lot of survival bushcraft skills and all that. I don't know if he's still alive, but I know back in the day he's written some other books on that, on his life and stuff that he's done. And Dog Song is an amazing book. Kids would love this one. And they don't have to be little ones. I mean, they could be 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old kids, and they'll love these stories. They're really adventurous, and can't say enough about Gary Paulsen. The Castaway by Arthur Roth. Now, this was a older book. It's quick read. You just sit down and read it in one night or in a couple hours or whatever. It's a real fast read, but it's got a really cool story about a kid that cast away on an island, of course. And this isn't the Castaway, the movie with what's his name, but this is just a children's story about a kid that gets stuck on an island, and it's a really cool little story. This one's highly recommended too. Another Gary Paulsen book is The Winter Room, and awesome book. I think every one of Gary Paulsen's books, I don't think he has a bad one. Every one of these are great books, and I'd say Gary Paulsen books, I wouldn't say they're just children's books. I mean, because I read a lot of children's books just to check them out, see what they're about, because I give a lot of them to my cousin. My nephew and stuff like, I like to teach him survival skills and all that. Hi, Gavin. And I know he's probably watching me right now, but miss you, buddy. But The Winter Room, Gary Paulsen. Can't say enough about Gary Paulsen, and his stories are for adults too. Like, I've read Hatchet and all the rest of the series in Hatchet from Gary Paulsen. I've probably read that 6 or 7 times each book, and love every one of his books. You can learn a lot of stuff too, because a lot of the stuff you'll think about it and you're like, well, I don't know if that'll work. Well, if there's things that I'm not sure about, I'll go out in the woods and try it out. But anyways, this book right here, kids will love this. Great story. And this is Will Hobbs, Downriver. This is an older book, and it's a pretty good read. Like 1 to 5, I'd say it's a 4, but it keeps you going where kids will read it because it's adventurous and whatever. You kind of want to know what's going to happen around the corner, the next scenario that they're going to get in, and do they ever make it home and whatever. But awesome book. I liked it. So it's in my library. Bearstone by Will Hobbs. Will Hobbs, you'll see him a lot in my library because it's I like his writing. He does some great books. And this is another, I'd say 5-star book too, you know. All these ones right here, they're 4 or 5 stars. I mean, every one of these children's books, I've read every one of them, and I know a lot of kids out there would read them and just really like them. You know, they keep you going. Farley Moat, Lost in the Barrens. Love this book. He's a really good author, and pretty good sized book. Keeps you going for a couple days, and it's a really adventurous story. It's kind of like the movie Lost in the Barrens, so I don't know if, but there's a couple different parts in there, so I don't know if that's, not really sure if they base this book or that movie off each other, so, but really liked it, loved the story. And that's about it for tonight. I'll try to do the Hatchet series in another video because that was a really fun book to read. And like I said, I read all of them. And Gary Paulson, he's got some great children's stories. And I highly recommend that you guys get your kids into reading and get them out of the video games and all the texting and whatever. You know, get them out in the woods a little bit more. I'm not trying to preach you. I'm just saying it'd be fun to get them as a family out there in the woods and, you know, teach them some survival bushcraft skills. And not only that, but just take them out and have them camp and hike and walk around and throw rocks on the river and whatever. Get out there in nature and get some sun in their eyes. Anyways, enough of this. I'm going to get out of here for the night. You guys have a good night. Check out our website, mnoutlaw.customs.com. Thank you.